What is up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of F1 Fantasy Pole Position. It is Monday, July 21st. My name is Ewan. On today's episode, I'm going to go over my Belgian Grand Prix transfer targets. This is actually the third piece of content I've made during this long F1 Fantasy break. I did a Belgian Grand Prix preview episode. I did a updated chip strategy for the second half of the season episode, so make sure to go and check those out. And if you are liking what you are seeing in the F1 Fantasy Pole Position paddock, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the YouTube channel. We are on our way to 3,500 by the summer break. You guys have been awesome. I really appreciate all the subscriptions, comments, likes, tweets, everything that you guys are hitting me up with. So really appreciate it. But we've got a lot to get into in today's episode, so let's get right into it. Starting off with a little bit of non-transfer target news, it was caught by the F1 Fantasy Tools guys and gals over there. Who else? That F1 Fantasy made some points changes over this long break to Silverstone. Apparently all the overtakes were off, so yeah, Antonelli went from 9 overtakes to 0, Stroll from 12 to 6, Ocon 63, you can see them all on the screen here, but yeah, they tried to slip it in the dead of night. It actually cost me 190 places, but only 9 points, which kind of shows you how close the top 10K is bunched up. A bunch of other content creators were talking about it on X as well. So yeah, it's kind of affected some people. Some have gone up and lost points. Some have gone down and lost points. So it is what it is. Not too much damage. Still in the top 9K here. Still no price changes were affected by these changes, says the F1 Fantasy Tools X account. So great stuff there. And if you see above my head here, this little scan me, that's the F1 Fantasy Summer Break survey. So I've got about 7 questions for you guys to answer and talk about who you've liked and not liked during the first half of the season, the best moments and stuff. It's 7 questions. I'm not collecting any emails or anything like that. There's no sketchy data collection going on or whatever. So hit that scan me button if you haven't. Just use your phone, or the link is in the comment description below. So make sure to check that out. But yeah, some Silverstone points changes. So make sure to check your rank and see where you are in your mini leagues. Liam Lawson is the first transfer target here, mostly because he is 4.5 million, and some people who are thinking about going to the extra DRS boost or triple McLaren build, as some of us are calling it. He's a great budget enabler. I mean, over the last 3 races, negative 8.3 points, negative 1.67 points per million, but 3 points in MLS, 7 Monaco, 9 Spain, 13 Austria. We've seen what Liam Lawson can do. A couple of DNFs in the last 3 races, needs 18 points and 22 points for a good or a great price rise. So I don't love that, but the quality average and the race average are okay. But 4.5 million for Liam Lawson. He's slightly in my thoughts. I don't need to go there to get to the triple McLaren build, but I understand there'll be people who maybe have more budget than me that are trying to get to that 4A lineup, or a little bit less budget than me. So Liam Lawson, I like him over Gabriel Bortoleto because he is likely to fall, so you're likely to lose budget. I think Lawson has a higher points upside than Franco Colapinto. Next up is Pierre Gasly, 6.6 million, 2.8% of the global top 500 have him. Over the last 3 races, 7.7 points per race, 1.26 points per million. So he is banging in the points for Alpine and for F1 Fantasy Managers. 13.3 quality average, 11.3 race average. So he's picking up places in the race. 6 points in Canada, 2 in Austria, 15 in Silverstone. So not bad at all. A DNF in Monaco, but that has dropped off now. And outside of Austria, where the hard tire just did not seem to work with that Alpine at all, he was pretty good on the other 2 stints. I think they were medium stints. And he did fine. It's just that hard tire really cost him a bunch of time. He qualified well. He qualified well in Silverstone and Canada. He is getting it done in F1 Fantasy. So Pierre Gasly, 6.6 million. He's a differential right now. 2.8% of the global top 500 have him. 1 point for a good price rise, 7 points for a great price rise in Spa. Over a sprint weekend, I would back Pierre Gasly to get that 0.6 million rise and kind of go on to bigger and better things in Hungary. 15 points for Silverstone, will cling on to his 3 race rolling average for a couple of more races. So if he can get another kind of double-digit haul here, he's likely to rise in Hungary as well. So he could be a good long-term or few race hold for F1 Fantasy Managers heading into the summer break. So I don't need to go there. It'd kind of be like a sideways transfer, maybe if you have like an Ollie Bearman or an Spa-Francorchamps, or if you somehow have a Lance Stroll. Uh, but Pierre Gasly, if you can get up to him, I like him as an asset in F1 Fantasy for the sprint race weekend in Spa. Over to Ollie Bearman now, just mentioned him, 7.5 million, 58.6% of the global top 500 have him, 11.7 points per race, 1.71 points per million. The quality average and the race average are both looking pretty good, boosted up by that, what was it, P8 in Silverstone, and then he had the grid place penalty, so he got a bunch of points in the UK, 14 points for Ollie Bearman, 4, 8, 0, 7, 14, 14 for Ollie Bearman over the last 6 races here. And the 7, 14, 14 is kind of good for his long-term prospects as well. In Spa, he needs -7 points for a good price rise, -1 point for a great price rise. So I really like Ollie Bearman. I have him on my team. I don't think he's going anywhere for me, but he should be picked up in F1 Fantasy if you are not in the global top 500 and you don't have him, or if you're one of the 41.4%. There's some loosey-goosey maths for you guys. Take a drink. And yeah, he should be getting picked up a little bit more as we head into the sprint weekend in Spa. Lance Stroll here is the last driver for today's transfer targets. Price is 8.5 million. He's in 0.2% of the global top 500. So not a lot of people have him. 11 points per race over the last 3 races, 1.35 points per million, 17.3 quality average, 12.7 race average, -8 points for a good price rise, -0 points or 0 points, as most people would say, for a great price rise. Canada, Austria, Great Britain. He does well in weird and wet conditions. Spa looks like there will be some changeable conditions this weekend. We might see like a dry sprint quali or a wet sprint quali, then a wet race, a dry qualifying, a dry race. So Lance Stroll could make up a bunch of points. He's done well in Australia. He did well in China as well. And then he did pretty great in Silverstone, as you can see, with 22 points. Miami as well. He had a huge race there also. So wet weekends, sprint weekends, Lance Stroll just seems to kind of get things done. It's not sexy, and it's very nerve-wracking to have Lance Stroll on your team. In Austria, I had Aston Martin as my constructor, and I wasn't worried about Fernando Alonso. I was terrified about Lance Stroll. He was like sitting all the way down there, got some overtakes done, so like got the job done, but it was very nervous having any attachment to Lance Stroll in F1 Fantasy. So I don't know if I have the stones to go to Lance Stroll this weekend, but he has a great differential. He does not need a lot of points to rise. In fact, some would say he needs no points to rise. So that's a great option if you are budget chasing. I feel okay with the 120.7 million. I need to keep building, obviously. It's quite hot in Germany here. I'm just kind of sweating recording this video. But 22 points in the UK will hold on for a couple of races, so he should be good for the next couple of races to rise as well. If you want to go there, if you're chasing budget, if you want some differentials, trying to make up some gaps in your mini league. Next up, and the final transfer targets here are the tier beer constructors between Aston Martin and Kick Sauber. Not a ton of people are going here. As you can see, 0.4% of the global top 500 have Aston Martin, 2.8% have Kick Sauber. There's also Haas as an option. I think they're like 11.4. So like that would be stretching the budget just a little bit too much for myself. But Aston Martin, Kick Sauber, if you have a little bit more budget, you could go with Aston Martin here into that kind of triple McLaren build if you're going extra DRS. As you can see over the last 3 races, 29.3 points per race, 3.24 points per million, 2 pit stop points per race over the last 3, which isn't great, but when you compare it to Kick Sauber over there, 3.3, it's not that bad. However, I did look at it. If you extend it out over the last 6 races, Kick Sauber is at 5.8. and Aston Martin remains at 2. So Kick Sauber had a bit of a bad Silverstone here. As you can see, 14 points in the UK because of Gabby Bortoletto's DNF. But both of these options are fine. Sauber's at 28.3 points per race, Aston Martin 29.3. Sauber's a little bit more points per million. And for a good price rise, Sauber needs -37, Aston Martin needs -29. And for a great price rise, Sauber needs -29, and Aston Martin needs -20. Personally, I prefer Nico Hülkenberg, and having some attachment to him in Sauber is not a bad thing at all. Aston Martin seem to, I'm not sure if they are like just staying the course and stagnating, and some teams are getting worse, like the Racing Bulls and Alpine and stuff have kind of slid down, and Aston Martin's climbing up. Sauber has definitely improved since Spain. As you can see here, 52, 26, 45, 14 points for the green team from Switzerland, I believe. Yes, or I mean, like Alfa Romeo is in Italy, Sauber. Yeah. So correct me if I am wrong about that in the comments below, but let me know which team you would rather go with here. You may be looking at Ferrari and Mercedes and stuff like that, but these are some transfer targets that I was considering in F1 Fantasy this week if I wanted to go with that extra DRS boost for the Spa weekend. Moving over to like a little bit of an updated Spa preview here. I didn't touch on the weather forecast in my first Belgian Grand Prix episode, but now that we are in the week of the race, I feel a little bit more confident kind of talking about the weather forecast. So on Saturday, you can see here 20 degrees Celsius, 69 degrees Fahrenheit, partly cloudy, but with a 70% chance of rain. Personally, I mean, that's coming in the afternoon, so that will be during sprint qualifying. Hopefully the practice session is dry, so we can get some data for the clean running, or like just like some clear air, clean track kind of stuff, so we can figure out a little bit of what's going to go down this weekend in Spa, because it's a sprint race. So on Saturday at 11 a.m. UK time, 6 a.m. Eastern, and 12 p.m. local time, our F1 Fantasy lineups are going to lock. So don't get caught out by that. Saturday, 21 degrees Celsius, 7 degrees Fahrenheit, partly sunny, some would say, 44% chance of rain. And on Sunday, it looks like it's going to be dry, 20 degrees Celsius, 69 degrees Fahrenheit, partly sunny, 4% chance of rain. As you can see here, not all that bad. I will be in Spa for the Saturday session. So I will be there for the sprint race and for qualifying. So if you're going to be at Spa, let me know. I'm just got a GA ticket, so I'm just going to be wandering around kind of trying to find a good spot. Let me know in the comments below if you guys are going to be there. If you have any tips for Spa, I'm likely going to have to lock my lineup in early, because from what I've heard, the signal is not great around there. It gets quite overloaded with traffic. People always on their cell phones, that kind of stuff. So I may need to lock my lineups in early Saturday morning when I'm still at the hotel before I drive to the track. So we will see. But now I'm going to get into a little bit of some updated team selection. Alrighty, so if you checked out my Belgian Grand Prix preview episode from a couple of weeks ago, you'll know that I'm kind of waffling, is that the right word? Between some like three options here. So this is the squad right now: Piastri, Alonso, Ocon, Hülkenberg, Bearman, McLaren, Ferrari. One of the options I've got going on right now is that I don't even have to make a transfer here. Like if we go to the budget builder, which I will, we can see here that Piastri, Ryder has already put out an early sim. So that's great. Thank you, Ryder. Thank you, F1 Fantasy Tools, as per usual. And if you want to save 50% off your first month, use promo code UN50 and you'll get the premium product for 50% off your first month. So make sure to do that. Piastri set to rise. I've got Hülkenberg, I've got Bearman, I've got Ocon, I've got Alonso. All of those gentlemen are set to, if they score positive points, they will, or 9 points or more, they will all rise 0.6. So that's not bad. Like, could be looking at another 3.3 million price rise. Ferrari strong, Piastri strong, McLaren strong. That's all good. I've got 2 free transfers. So that's kind of option one. I wouldn't say it's my favorite option, but that is one option, maybe not option one. The second option here is Ocon and Ferrari out. And I could bring Mr. Lando Norris, and where the team in form kicks Sauber in. This gives me triple McLaren and double Haas. Enables me to play the extra DRS boost, enables me to play the autopilot chip. Also, no negative could be on the cards. If the weather kind of takes a turn and gets a little bit worse, I would personally kind of like it to get a little bit worse, because the no negative chip in a sprint weekend, in a wet sprint weekend, seems like an ideal scenario. Like a lot of you guys have played in Miami, as you have told me from filling out the F1 Fantasy Summer Break survey. Like I said, you can scan that QR code or click the link in the description below to take the survey. We've already got over like 150 responses or something, or 150, I think I saw it the last time. So thank you guys for filling that out nice and early. We'll hit on that during the summer break. So this is the second option here: Piastri, Norris, McLaren, Sauber. I personally kind of like this option. Extra DRS boost at Spa. If McLaren looks dominant, if it stays dry and gets hot, right now it looks kind of cool. So Mercedes could kind of come into play here, but I'm not sure if we're trusting them right now after what happened in Silverstone and with Kimi Antonelli's DNF problems over the second quarter of the season. So I don't feel great about that option, or going with Mercedes, but I kind of like that extra DRS boost option. Another option is also that I go with Ferrari and I take Ocon out and just kind of go after the price rise. So I drop down 0.4 million, give myself a little bit extra budget, roll a transfer, and then I go to Lance Stroll, who needs -8 and 0 compared to 1 and 9 to go up in price. So that's an option there as well. Gain some more budget, go up a little bit, roll a transfer heading into the Hungaroring during this doubleheader that we've got to end the kind of pseudo first half of the season before the summer break. So those are the three options. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Help me out a little bit, and then drop your own lineup decisions in the comments below as well. Like I touched on, I actually won't be doing a deadline stream this week. I'll do a final thoughts video on Friday night from my hotel, and I'll post that online probably Friday night as soon as I can get it recorded. And then I will be having the cool down room episode. So that will be back on Sunday after the race. Silverstone was a bang up time after that. I will also be doing a Q&A episode for on Wednesday night. So make sure you stick around with that. But I don't know. I think I'm honestly just caught between burning a transfer and using two. I don't really love the sideways move to Lance Stroll. I think Esteban Ocon, I know it's 90 points on the season to 84, but something just feels a lot better about Esteban Ocon. Even if we go to the elite data here, it's a little swords and shieldy kind of here, 42.4% compared to 0.2%. If Lance Stroll goes horribly wrong, which somehow it has not gone horribly wrong yet this season, but Ocon goes bad, it's not too bad against the global top 500. So I don't hate that all that much. So might be burning a transfer, might be using two transfers, might be bringing in Lance Stroll. Like I said, let me know in the comments below what you guys would do for your F1 fantasy lineups if you were me. But that'll do it for today's episode. It's short and sweet. I know it's still 20 minutes, and I tried to jam pack as much as possible. Transfer targets, Silverstone point changes, a little bit of a race preview, updated team selection. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that. And like I said, if you are enjoying what you're seeing in the F1 Fantasy Paddock or F1 Fantasy Pole Position Paddock, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the YouTube channel as we push towards 3,500 before the summer break. It's been a unprecedented amount of growth for the YouTube channel. So once again, I really appreciate everyone coming out, liking, commenting, subscribing to the YouTube channel, all the podcasts, all that stuff. So yes, it's been great. And I will be back with a Q&A stream on Wednesday night and a final thoughts video on Friday before the cool down room race review live Q&A stream kind of thing on Sunday evening. But once again, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching, and I will talk to you next time.